Alliance God Level Summoner Chapter 11, Wilderness Survival Trial. After returning to the school, all the summoners were informed that the next day Yanchinj No. 1 High School will organize the school's summoners to participate in the Wild Survival Trial. Those who are interested need to sign the agreement by themselves and their parents. None of the school's summoners did not sign. After all, the Field Survival Trial is already a very routine project. After so many years, the casualty rate is less than 1%, so it can be said that there is almost no danger. The trial lasts for 3 days, and the summoner must prepare food, water bottles, tents, mosquito repellent and other necessities by himself. Fortunately, there is already the most complete list of field materials on the internet, and many stores will also sell a complete set of materials, so there is no need to worry too much. The next day, 42 new summoners got on a school bus fully armed. A high school bus has been specially modified. The surface layer is reinforced with 5 cm thick steel plates, and the tires are 1 lap larger than the tires of ordinary buses. At the same time, the tires are made of special rubber, which are tough and elastic. After getting on the bus, all the students were excited. After all, ordinary people have no chance to step into the wild, but the magical and exciting wild videos on the internet are also attracting these energetic children all the time. Now that they are about to get in touch with the wild, this feeling is like a child's first roller coaster ride, nervous and anticipating. After getting into the car, Xiao Yao sat down with his best friend Su Xingliang. Xiao Yao, did you go to the training ground 2 days ago? Su Xingliang asked. Go. Xiao Yao nodded. How is it? How is your Warwick's combat effectiveness? Su Xingliang was a little curious. Well, it's not bad. It also killed 3 gray rock rabbits and a black iron level 2 gale dog. Xiao Yao looked indifferent. It's pretending? Su Xingliang pouted. This friend of mine usually looks aloof and cold, and is full of imitations, but only those close to him know that he is a sullen man. How are your preserved eggs? Su Xingliang sighed. Preserved Dan is a little timid, but he is really good at fighting. At least the black iron 2 gray rock rabbit is not the opponent of the preserved egg. But I dare not try. The black iron 2 gale dog, the current preserved eggs will definitely not beat. That's not bad. Xiao Yao nodded. Although the gray cat is small, its fighting power is definitely not bad. The rapid burst gave him a super burst speed, coupled with a pair of sharp claws. It is no exaggeration to call him an assassin in the black iron. However, cats are naturally timid creatures, and they need to be trained well later. At this time, the school bus was full of messy conversations. There were only more than 300 people in the first year of high school and 8 classes. After 3 years, everyone was at least familiar with each other. Among the more than 40 summoners, most of them could call each other's name. Now everyone has become a summoner, and many students with flexible minds are walking back and forth in the school bus to get to know each other better. Dang dang dang. At this time, several young people in their 20s walked into the school bus. Cough, everyone, be quiet. The Dean Lao Zhang said in a loud voice, these are the elite members of the Summoners Association, and they are also responsible for the safety of your wild survival trial. Next, please introduce yourself. As soon as Lao Zhang's words came out, the school bus immediately became quiet. Hello everyone, I'm Guo Yufan from Kyoto University, a level 3 silver summoner. A handsome young man smiled. Hello everyone, I'm Yanfei Yu from Mizuki University in Kyoto, a level 2 silver summoner. A gentle and beautiful girl introduced. I'm Guo Jun, from the Magic Capital Military University, a silver level 2 summoner. Wang Zhet, Yamashiro University, silver level 1 summoner. After listening to their introduction, everyone in the school bus couldn't help but widen their eyes. The strength of these 8 people is above silver, and the schools are also among the top 20 good universities in the country. Among them, Kyoto University, Kyoto Shuimu University and Motojunryu University are the top 5 universities in the Dragon Kingdom. No one thought that the Summoners Association would send such a group of talented students to protect themselves. Hello, senior. Hello, senior. At this moment, a clever boy spoke first. Hello, senior. Hello, senior. The others also reacted and said in unison. Xiao Yao also shouted, and at the same time his eyes were focused on Guo Yufan from Kyoto University. Not only because of his strongest strength and the best school, but also because of Kyoto University. the alma mater of his father Xiao Li. Okay, then I will assign everyone to the 8 summoners in the order on the list. Listen carefully. Lao Zhang read aloud according to the list. Li Ming, Su Xingliang, Wang Jiakai, Xiao Yao, Xing Yi, Lu Lei, the 6 of you follow Guo Yufan to lead the team. Yes. The 6 looked at each other and shouted loudly. Xiao Yao had a smile in his eyes. His team was all classmates, and the leader of the team was the most powerful Guo Yufan. He was very satisfied with this assignment. He Ming, Li Ziki, Duan Bo, Wang Hui, Cheng Haoshan, Zhao Xian, the 6 of you will follow Yan Feiyu to lead the team. Yes. These people also shouted excitedly. Yan Feiyu is not only good-looking, but she is also a senior from Mizuki University in Kyoto. Good-looking and powerful women are always the most popular. Lu Jia, Su Ling. You 5 follow Guo Jun to lead the team. Wang Chu, Li Feng, you 5 follow Wang Jia to lead the team. After all the personnel were allocated, Lao Zhang looked at the summoners and said politely, Do you have anything else you want to inform? Guo Yufan smiled and said, Mr. Zhang, I think members of each group will come to report to the team leader. We can get to know each other along the way. No problem. Lao Zhang turned his head and shouted, Now everyone is looking for the team leader to report according to the list just assigned. Yes. Soon several team leaders sat in different positions on the school bus, and the team members also sat around the team leader. The 6 members of Xiao Yao's group soon sat down beside Guo Yufan, and everyone's eyes were full of curiosity. After all, this is a summoner from Kyoto University, with silver-level strength. Such a genius is difficult for ordinary people to reach. Hello everyone, I'm your team leader Guo Yufan, and I'll take you through the wild survival test in the next 3 days. Now let's introduce ourselves. Guo Yufan smiled. He speaks very softly, and when he smiles, his eyes are like a crescent moon, making people unable to help but get close. Hello, senior. My name is Lu Lei. The extroverted Lu Lei raised his back and said, Hello, senior. My name is Li Ming. Li Ming's body is relatively thin and his skin is darker than the average person, but he has a good personality and likes to joke with his classmates. Hello, senior. My name is Wang Jiakai. Wang Jiakai is the only girl in the team. She is also very outgoing and can play well with both boys and girls in the class. Hello, senior. My name is Xing Yi. Xing Yi is not tall, but his grades have always been among the best. He is very popular with girls who are studying in general. Every time he is studying at night, there will always be people around him who ask questions. Hello, senior. My name is Su Xingliang. Hello, senior. My name is Xiao Yao. Okay, now I know everyone. In the next few days, I will lead you to complete the trial of survival in the wild. At the same time, please follow the instructions. After all, the wild is a very dangerous place, and even I dare not say it. 100% guarantee for everyone's safety. Guo Yufan still spoke very politely, but everyone could hear the hint of warning in his tone. Understood, senpai. The 6 said in unison. Chapter 12. Enter the proving ground. After everyone was assigned, Lao Zhang also left the school bus. He is just an ordinary teacher, and the next trials are still handed over to professionals. The school bus driver was sent by the Summoners Association. After everyone was ready, he notified him and set off. Destination, Yanchinj No. 1 Proving Ground. The forest area around Yanchinj has been completely controlled by the government, and is divided into field training grounds with different numbers according to the location of the area. This place not only provides a relatively safe trial location for summoners, but also a strategic and deep location between Yanchinj and the wild. The dangerous monsters in these trial venues have been cleaned up, and the highest level monsters are only silver level, which is why the top students in charge of this trial are at least silver level. At the same time, there are troops stationed outside the training grounds, and there is a lot of surveillance inside the training grounds, so even if there are dangerous monsters sneaking in, they will be cleared by military experts as soon as possible. The No. 1 trial venue is the least dangerous of all venues. Most of them are black iron, a few are bronze, and silver can hardly be seen. Therefore, it is most suitable for these newly awakened novice summoners. Senior, why are all the students who protected us this time from colleges and universities? I remember that they were all members of the Summoners Association before, those in their 30s and 40s. Lu Lei looked at Guo Yufan and asked curiously. The others also looked at Guo Yufan curiously. Every year, there are a lot of novice summoners trial sharing posts on the internet. Most of the people responsible for protection are experienced summoners in the association, and they are not young. There are very few college students who are responsible for participating in this activity. Guo Yufan smiled and explained, this is an agreement reached between major universities across the country and the Summoner Association this year. In the future, the trial tasks of new summoners can be participated by college students. On the one hand, it can alleviate the association's summoner manpower pressure. On the other hand, can also increase students' social practice experience, while earning certain school points. Is that so? That senior, why did you choose Yanchinj for the mission? Wang Jiakai asked. Because I'm from Yanchinj, and also your immediate senior. I graduated from a high school 3 years ago. Guo Yufan smiled. I'll go, senior, you are also a senior. Everyone's eyes widened, but no one thought that the senior they were talking about was really their direct senior. The 8 of us are all from Yanchinj, Yanfei and I are both from the first high school, and the rest are from the second high school and the 13th high school. Sister Yan is also our first senior. Everyone's eyes lit up. At this time, Li Ming glanced around secretly and whispered, our senior and senior sister are the best looking. Ha ha. Everyone laughed happily, even Guo Yufan couldn't help but chuckle. He was also very happy to be able to lead the juniors and juniors from his alma mater on assignments. Moreover, these boys have good personalities, so the next few days will not be so boring. In the next hour or so, several people asked Guo Yufan a lot of questions, such as how he got admitted to Kyoto University, whether the university life was very good, and whether there were many beautiful women in the university. Guo Yufan answered these questions patiently to everyone. The scenery on the side of the road flashed at a high speed, from the bustling city at the beginning, to the wilderness, and then to today's dense jungle. After 2 hours, the school bus finally drove to the starting point of number 1 proving ground. Classmates, you can get off the bus. The driver said loudly after stopping the car. Get out of the car. Everyone couldn't wait, and when they saw the car stopped, they ran out of the car. After everyone got out of the car, a group of soldiers with live ammunition came to the side of them. They belonged to the garrisoned unit at the number 1 proving ground. Everyone who enters the proving ground must buy a permit to enter, and the stowaways will be subject to heavy fines and even the risk of imprisonment. However, the trials for new summoners are free and provided by the state. After everyone presents their student IDs, the soldiers check the information in the information database one by one. 10 minutes later, after checking that it was correct, the soldiers issued a 3-day access card to everyone, and they were allowed to pass. The 3-day access card means that each person can only stay in it for 3 days, and additional fees need to be paid for more than 3 days. Everyone, be quiet. After entering the proving ground, Guo Yufan clapped his hands. The sound was not loud but everyone could hear it clearly. In the next 3 days, you will need your respective team leaders to lead the team members to act in groups. Please follow the instructions and ensure your own safety. I won't say anything else. See you in 3 days. After Guo Yufan finished speaking, several captains walked in different directions with their team members. Senior, how should we go? Looking at the dimly lit forest ahead, Xiao Yao couldn't contain the excitement and nervousness in his heart. Just follow me. Guo Yufan waved his hand and led the team towards the left front. The century-old trees in the forest are connected together like an ocean, and the mottled light spots are scattered, giving people a feeling of tranquility and serenity. The soil and dead leaves under the feet are soft. Yu reading www.yuyukangsha.com steps on it like a carpet. Except for Guo Yufan, the others were entering the forest for the first time. They looked around like curious babies, exploring everything in the forest. White-leafed flower. Xiao Yao suddenly crouched down and looked at a flower with white leaves in the bush. According to the description in the book, white leaf flower has the effect of moistening the lungs and relieving cough, and it can quickly relieve cough after soaking in water. The vast majority of anti-cough medicines are also based on white leaf flowers. This is the first time Xiao Yao has seen wild white leaf flowers, and he is very happy that this book reflects reality. That's right, this is the white leaf flower. Guo Yufan said, in addition to monsters, there are many valuable plants growing in the wild, such as white-leafed flowers, which are only the most common plants, but also play a very important role in human health. Therefore, the wild is not only a crisis for human beings, but also an opportunity. Senior, are there any very strange plants in the wild? Li Ming asked. Very many, Guo Yufan said. For human beings, the wild is still a mysterious forbidden area. Most of the wild have not been surveyed, but there are many very strange plants that I know. If a diamond-level beast eats it, it will be directly promoted to the master level, and there is also a lingering grass. Anyone who eats it can maintain a permanent appearance until death. Wow, the crowd exclaimed. Several boys exclaimed because the flames never extinguished the flowers, and Wang Jiakai exclaimed because of the stunting grass. Of course, precious plants always grow in extremely dangerous environments, so everyone should work hard to improve their strength first. Yes. Everyone was excited and full of fighting spirit. Chapter 13, Wind Devil Rabbit. After entering the forest, Xiao Yao and the other 6 summoned their war beasts. Su Xingliang's war animal, the gray shadow cat, is usually held in his arms, but after entering the forest, Su Xingliang still walks on the ground with the preserved egg, so that he can give full play to its speed and flexibility. Lu Lei's lightning falcon stood on his shoulders, flying into the air from time to time to observe the situation ahead. Wang Jiakai's war beast is a fascinated butterfly, black iron level 1, and the skill is fascinated pollen, which can make the opponent fall into a coma. The butterfly is about the size of 2 palms, and usually dances back and forth on Wang Jiakai's head and shoulders. Li Ming's war beast is a chameleon with the ability to change color, which can be well integrated with the surrounding environment. At the same time, his tongue has a strong penetrating ability, which can pierce a solid wood board with a width of with 1 blow. Can be said to be a powerful invisible killer. Xing Yi's beast is a bullet rat, twice the size of a normal rat, and his abdominal cavity has a strong air compression ability, which makes the air cannon he spit out has the power of a bullet, so it is called a bullet mouse. Xiao Yao also summoned Xiao Ke. After a few days of cultivation, the scars on Xiao Ke's body had disappeared, and at the same time, there was a bit of determination in his eyes, which made him look even more majestic. Guo Yufan nodded in satisfaction after seeing everyone's war beasts. Except for Xiao Yao's war beasts, he knew all about the others' war beasts, both in terms of quality and combat effectiveness. Although I have never heard of the name, it seems that it is also a wolf-type beast, which belongs to the type with relatively strong combat power. Okay, everyone, then you need to be careful. I won't take action against weaker monsters. Everything is up to you. As soon as he finished speaking, Guo Yufan also summoned his own beast, the great ape. His great ape was more than 2 meters tall, with knotted muscles all over his body, and his withered yellow hair was messy, looking like a savage. In Xiao Yao's eyes, the information of the great ape also appeared. Name of the beast: Great Ape War Beast, level bronze, level 4 War Beast, skill Giant Burst. Guo Yufan is a level 3 silver summoner, which means that his strongest beast is level 3 silver. Therefore, the great ape is not his main battle beast. However, the bronze level 4 ape is also very strong. At least in the number 1 proving ground, they will hardly encounter opponents, so it is more than enough to protect everyone. As soon as it appeared, Dolly Ape circled around Guo Yufan and let out a low growl, as if to vent his dissatisfaction. Okay, I was in the city for a while, and I couldn't let you out. I'll let you relax today. Guo Yufan brushed the hair on Dolly Ape's head with his hands and said helplessly. Hearing Guo Yufan's words, Dolly Ape pursed his lips humanely, and then jumped up to the tree. With the sound of leaves, the great ape disappeared in a blink of an eye. Everyone looked at the disappearing back of the great ape with a look of confusion. Isn't he here to protect us? Cough, you don't need to worry about him, he will naturally appear when he is about to appear. Guo Yufan coughed and then said, next, you can assign a team leader, and he will arrange the following itinerary, and I am only responsible for protecting your safety. Isn't it? Everyone was very surprised. Is it reliable to arrange their own itinerary? Senior, what if we go the wrong way? Will we be in danger if we go too deep? Li Ming said worriedly. Don't worry, I'll point it out if you've gone too far. Oh well. Everyone, look at me, I look at you, and finally focus on Xiao Yao. Without him, it is because Xiao Yao is always the first in the class, the first in the grade, and the fighter among the top students. In this environment, the first thing that everyone thinks of must be the best and most reliable way to learn. Then let me be the captain of this squad. Xiao Yao also readily agreed. He also thinks he is the best candidate for this squad leader. The first is because he has been a human being in 2 lifetimes, and his mental quality and experience must be much stronger than others. The second is because he has a wide range of knowledge, and coupled with the bonus of the system, he can clearly identify the monster level, so as to make a monster. Best judgment. If this position was replaced by someone else, he himself would not be relieved. Xiao Yao said, "First of all, I think we need to find a suitable place to stay. This place should be dry and convenient for us to stay overnight." It makes sense. Everyone agreed. Then everyone, let's go this way. Xiao Yao randomly pointed the way. Now they don't have a map, so they can only on their own. Guo Yufan smiled without saying a word, just casually spread his hands, meaning to follow you. Set off. Seeing that Guo Yufan had no objection, Xiao Yao let Xiao Kei take the lead, and the others followed behind him. Rustling, the sound of dead wood and fallen leaves being trampled rang out in the silent forest. Xiao Yao and his party were not moving fast. Wow wow wow, the sound of the wings vibrating sounded, and a purple bird approached several people like lightning, but everyone was not panicked. Ziazi said that 200 meters ahead, there are 6 wind devil rabbits foraging. Lu Lei said. After the summoner signed the soul agreement with the war beast, Yu reading www.uukangsha.com could understand each other's meaning. Given this, the Lightning Falcon is without a doubt the best scout on the team. However, although Xiao Kei could understand Xiao Yao's words, he seldom spoke aloud and was rather cold and reticent, which made Xiao Yao look enviously at the interaction between Lu Lei and Lightning Falcon. What about Xiao Yao? Do you want to them? Su Xingliang waved his fist and looked a little moved. However, this is normal. The Wind Devil Rabbit is a common monster of the Black Iron level, and its strength is slightly stronger than that of the artificially raised Grey Rock Rabbit. If you dare not do it, then this trial will be meaningless. Fuck them. Xiao Yao said firmly. Xiaoke still has 15 experience points to level up. Since he has this condition, he must do everything possible to improve his strengths. Fuck them. Several boys also roared excitedly. The desire to fight was completely ignited. Before the battle, we need to plan a strategy. Xiao Yao calmly analyzed. The Wind Devil Rabbit is average in strength and timid. We will scare them away if we rush up. So now we have to formulate a strategy to attract them. You said, what should I do? Everyone agreed with Xiao Yao's point of view. How about this? Xiao Yao said, let the bullet mouse sneak past secretly first, hit the Fengmo Rabbit with a bullet, and then run away quickly. Although the Fengmo Rabbit is timid, he will fully resist the provocation of an opponent with similar strengths. We see if you can lure them in this way. Good. Everyone turned their attention to Xing Yi. Xing Yi patted his chest. Give me the bullet. Bullet is the name he gave to the bullet rat. Chapter 14, Dark Iron Level 2, Blood Tracking. Rustling, the breeze was blowing, the leaves rustled, and the mottled sunlight sprinkled on the ground through the layers of shade, bringing light to the dark forest. In the bushes, the 6 wind demon rabbits were grazing leisurely, but their ears were always pricked up, listening to the movements around them. Compared with the Grey Rock Rabbit, the Wind Devil Rabbit is slightly larger in size, and its hair is light blue, so it is difficult to find it in the grass. And, different from the domestic limestone rabbit, the Wind Devil Rabbit lives in the wild all year round, and is much stronger than the limestone rabbit in terms of vigilance and combat effectiveness. Ka, the 4 front teeth turned up and down, light green grass juice seeped out from the corners of his mouth. Feng Emo Rabbit squinted his eyes in satisfaction, and then found a sunny place to lie down and feel the warmth of the sun. At this moment, the sound of the grass trembling suddenly sounded in the ear, and the 6 wind demon rabbits instantly burst into hair, gathered into a ball at a very fast speed. Their bodies were slightly bent, and their red eyes swept around. Boom! A cloud of invisible gas passed through the jungle and slammed into the eyes of a wind demon rabbit. Squeak! A shrill scream broke out from the mouth of the wind demon rabbit. It covered its injured eyes with its claws, and blood quickly flowed down its eyes, dripping to the ground drop by drop. The remaining wind demon rabbits froze and looked vigilantly in the direction of the attack. The breeze blew through the grass, revealing the appearance of an attacker. It was a bronze-colored mouse, with big, piercing eyes, and a smug smile on the corner of its mouth, as if applauding its own attack. For a time, all the wind demon rabbits glared at the mouse, and a serious murderous intent erupted in their red eyes, especially the injured wind demon rabbit, one-eyed red dripping blood, and a pair of buck teeth gritted. They didn't expect that such a small thing would dare to attack themselves, they were just courting death. The bullet rat felt the murderous intent, the smile on its face solidified instantly, and took a deep look ahead. It turned around, wagged its tail deliberately, and then ran away with a sting. Ho ho! The one-eyed wind demon rabbit let out a low roar. His powerful thighs slammed on the ground, and rushed towards the bullet rabbit like a sharp arrow. The other 5 wind demon rabbits saw this and followed closely behind their companions. Wow wow wow! The bullet rat and the wind demon rabbit ran wildly in the forest, passing through the grass, over dead branches, and stepping on fallen leaves, breaking the original tranquility of the forest. Come here, get ready. On the high slope, Xiao Yao lowered his body and whispered to the classmates beside him. One of the 4 of you, and the other 2 are handed over to me. This arrangement has been decided before, and Xiao Yao is now just to remind his classmates again. Although the rest of the people were a little worried about Xiao Yao's arrangement, they felt that it was a bit risky for Xiao Ke to fight too, but seeing Xiao Yao's firm and confident eyes, they still chose to trust Xiao Yao. Wow wow! The sound was getting closer and closer, and several people saw that the wind demon rabbit was constantly approaching the bullet mouse. At this time, Xing Yi's face also showed a faint look of worry. Name of War Beast: Wind Demon Rabbit. War Beast level Black Iron level 2 War Beast skill none. Seeing that the Wind Devil Rabbit was surrounded by several people, Xiao Yao suddenly stood up and shouted loudly, "Do it!" Oh! Xiao Ke was the first to respond. He appeared from behind a big tree surrounded by 2 people. Behind the Wind Demon Rabbit, jumped forward, and suddenly knocked down a Wind Demon Rabbit. Squeak! The huge pressure behind him scared the ghosts of the Wind Demon Rabbits, and their hairs exploded. It kicked its legs frantically, trying to push down the enemy behind it. But at this time, Xiao Ke had already exposed his sharp wolf teeth. He used his claws to press down on the body of the Wind Demon Rabbit, and then bit down. Click! A large piece of flesh and blood was torn off, and the blood was sprayed like a column. Xiao spat out the flesh and blood in his mouth. In Xiao Yao's eyes, the Fengmo rabbit's health instantly returned to 0. At the same time, Xiao Yao's classmates were not far behind. Ruthless the lightning falcon flew down from the branch, like a purple lightning bolt, and flew to the wind demon rabbit in an instant. Puff! The sharp beak pierced deeply into the eyes of the wind demon rabbit, and then stirred fiercely. Ho ho! The wind demon rabbit let out an unconscious low drink. Its brain has been destroyed by the lightning falcon, and its vitality has been lost. Preserved egg, come on. Su Xingliang clenched his fists, secretly cheering on his gray shadow cat. Meow! Preserved Dan heard Su Xingliang's heart, and it used its own skill, burst out rapidly. A few gray shadows are like a big net covering the wind demon rabbit. At close range, the gray shadow cat is not afraid even in the face of the wind demon rabbit, which is 1 level higher than it and is known for its speed, because it's flickering and moving. Much smarter than the opponent. Rip and rip. The sharp cat's claws left wounds on Fengmo Rabbit's body. Fengmo Rabbit spun back and forth in a hurry, but couldn't catch the preserved egg. A few seconds passed. Taking advantage of Fengmo Rabbit's inability to respond, preserved egg slashed the opponent's throat with a paw. Puff! The arterial blood vessel ruptured, and the red blood spurted out. The wind demon rabbit's eyes gradually dimmed, and it didn't take long for it to fall to the ground. Well done, preserved egg. Su Xingliang waved his fist excitedly. When Pidin saw Su Xingliang's reaction, he raised his head and meowed a few times shyly. Li Ming's war beast, the chameleon, is also very powerful, and the battle ended earlier than the preserved egg. It has previously been integrated with the grass under its feet through its own skill discoloration. After the arrival of the wind devil rabbit, one pounces on its body, shoots its tongue like a javelin, and directly destroys its brain through the eyes of the wind devil rabbit. The whole process only takes 3 seconds. It can be said that the forest killer's skills are perfectly displayed. Xing Yi's bullet rat is no exception. It has long aimed at the wind demon rabbit. That was injured by itself. When the other war beasts attacked and the wind demon rabbit was in a state of confusion, it turned around, took a sharp breath, and its mouth was bulging like a small bun. Then bang, the air bullet blinded the other eye of the Wind Devil Rabbit, and the Wind Devil Rabbit completely became a blind rabbit. Squeak! This blind rabbit made a sound of panic and anger, blinded both eyes, and the severe pain eroded his nerves like a tide, and it ran wild like a headless fly. Thump! The Wind Demon Rabbit directly hit a big tree and fainted instantly. A pair of big hands picked up its 2 ears and lifted it up in the air. Seeing Yi said with a smile, "This wave is called waiting for the rabbit." Compared with other classmates, Wang Jiakai's battle is a little more difficult. Her beast is the fascinated butterfly, and her skill is fascinated pollen. For the ecstasy butterfly, although these pollen make the Wind Devil Rabbit a little groggy www.readwn.com, it still lacks deadly means of attack. Seeing that all her classmates have solved her opponent, Wang Jiakai is a little anxious, but she has no other way. After all, the ability of the fascinated butterfly can only go so far, unless the pollen of the fascinated butterfly can only wait until the silver level has neurotoxin properties. "Leave it to me next," Xiao Yao suggested. Xiaoke has easily solved the second Wind Demon Rabbit. Seeing Wang Jiakai's dilemma, he also wanted to do a favor and earn some experience points by the way. "Then I'll trouble you," Wang Jiakai said gratefully. Xiao Yao smiled slightly and gave Xiaoke an order in his heart. Xiaoke turned around and faced the last Wind Demon Rabbit, with an excited look in his eyes. Not only because of his bloodthirsty character, but most importantly, he has leveled up. In Xiao Yao's eyes, Xiaoke's message became, "War Beast name Ziyuan Anger Beast War Beast Level Black Iron Level 2 War Beast Skills Blood Hunger, Mouth of the Beast, Blood Tracking, Ancient Ancestor Howl. Unavailable, Endless Binding, unavailable, upgraded to Black Iron Level 2, Xiaoke has grown in all aspects to a certain extent. Most importantly, he has unlocked a new skill, Blood Tracking." Puff! Xiaoke took a sip and easily dealt with this groggy Wind Demon Rabbit. At this point, his experience value becomes Dark Iron Level 2, 10/100. At Level 1 of Black Iron, Xiaoke can get 10 experience points by killing a Wind Demon Rabbit, but after advancing to Level 2 of Black Iron, the Wind Demon Rabbit can only bring him 5 points of experience points. Of course, Xiao Yao is not dissatisfied with this change. After all, killing monsters can be upgraded. Xiaoke's promotion path is much better than other war beasts. Chapter 15, Foothold. The battle ended quickly, and within 2 minutes all 6 Wind Demon Rabbits died. Guo Yufan nodded in satisfaction. Although it is said that the race of the Wind Devil Rabbit is relatively and has no means of attack, it is a Black Iron Level 2 monster after all, which is 1 level higher than all the beasts of war. These juniors can solve the battle so cleanly, showing the potential not bad. Especially that apprentice. Guo Yufan set his eyes on Xiao Yao. From the formulation of the trap plan to the next battle, Xiao Yao and his war beasts were impeccable, especially the war beasts were upgraded to 1 level during the battle. Although Xiaoke's upgrade was very secretive, the fluctuations emanating from the unconscious still did not hide from Guo Yufan's eyes. However, Guo Yufan is not surprised. After all, many war beasts are upgraded in battle. Combat and training are always the best way to level up the beasts. It's just that this wolf-shaped war beast has been promoted to a level within a few days of his awakening. It can be seen that his potential is very unusual. By the way, what is the name? Black Wolf? Black Wolf? At this time, Xiao Yao had already walked to Xiaoke's side, carefully feeling the changes in Xiaoke and himself. Promoted to Black Iron Level 2, Xiaoke's body has grown a little bigger, and his strength, speed, endurance, and mental strengths have all increased to a certain extent. The most important thing is to unlock the blood tracking skill. Blood Hunt passive. Warwick gains bonus attack speed when fighting enemies below 50% health, and he can also detect nearby enemies with lower health and gain bonus movement speed when moving towards them, plus the above success is tripled when the enemy's health is below 20%. Active. Warwick can sense the location of all enemies, and enemies closest to Warwick will continue to be affected by the blood hunt for a period of time. This skill is very powerful. On the one hand, you can get additional attack speed and movement speed bonuses during battle. The lower the enemy's HP, the higher the 2 bonuses. On the other hand, you can also sense the enemy's position, whether it is far away. Xiaoke will detect whether his nearest enemy is an enemy with low blood volume. It can be said that after being promoted to Black Iron Level 2, Xiaoke's strength has taken a big step. And Xiaoke's strength growth will also be reflected on Xiaoyao himself. Although he did not feel any change in his physical fitness, his sense of smell was obviously much more sensitive. The smell of mosquito-repellent water from the distant classmates kept getting into his nose. This feeling is as if the patient with severe rhinitis unclogs the nose in an instant, which is sour and uncomfortable. Xiaoyao couldn't help pinching his nose. The other smells were fine, but the strong smell and the smell of feces from nowhere really made him feel sick. Xiaoyao, what should we do next? Su Xingliang hugged his preserved egg, walked to his side and asked. Xiaoyao let go of his hand, shrugged his nose, suppressed the disgusting feeling in his heart, and said, "Leave here first. I'm worried that the aura here will attract other monsters." That's right. Xing Yi also nodded. As the top student in the class, he also has a deep understanding of the habits of monsters in the wild. Many monsters will look for their prey according to the blood around them. Now that the blood is so strong, it is really not a safe place. The other people had no objection to Xiaoyao's decision, so everyone put on their backpacks and followed Xiaoyao to the depths of the forest. Along the way, Xiaoyao slowly got used to the sudden increase in his sense of smell, and this ability brought him a lot of benefits. For example, when he was walking on the road, he could smell a stench blown by the wind from a distance. He knew that this was a group of gregarious monsters living in front of him. Smell. In the animal world and the monster world, this smell is an important sign that many monsters occupy the territory, so Xiaoyao took the team away from this direction early. After that, they did not encounter other monsters, which disappointed the rest of them. After all, they had just fought a clean battle, and they still wanted to show their might again, but perhaps because of their large number, many monsters left them in advance after sensing the movement. With his excellent sense of smell, Xiaoyao led the team to find a small stream in the forest. The water here is very clear, so several of them were relieved to pour the water into their respective kettles and cleaned the beast's body. Xiaoke squatted on the bank, his bright red tongue churning in the stream. He seemed to be addicted to the game. After coming to the forest, Xiaoke seemed to activate the wild nature in his body, and his temperament was much more active than usual. Usually he liked to stick to Xiaoyao's side, but here, he completely let himself go. He ran away without a trace, and then ran back obediently in a few minutes. Xiaoyao saw him so happy. Yu reading www.yuukangshu.com didn't stop him either. After all, the wolf's nature is to be arrogant and free. In the city, Xiaoke can't run so freely, so in the forest, Xiaoyao is more willing to let him release his nature. Fortunately, Xiaoke also knew that this was a dangerous place, so he never ran far, and he used his far better sense of smell than Xiaoyao to probe the surrounding situation. After everything was settled, the group walked for a while and finally found their foothold. Let's spend the night here tonight. Xiaoyao looked at the terrain here and nodded in satisfaction. This location is flat and much drier than other places, making it a great place to pitch a tent overnight. The others didn't have any objections, and soon a few of them set up tents with great interest, but because it was the first time, everyone was unskilled in the operation, and it took a long time to set up a tent. Guo Yufan, who was beside him, couldn't stand it any longer. He took out his tent and taught everyone how to set it up. Setting up a tent is actually very simple to learn, and soon a few people set up their own tents and fastened their sleeping bags. It was already evening, and the forest began to get dark. There was no lunch at noon, so everyone was hungry, so they took out the food in their backpacks and started eating. The food in the wild is very simple, except for energy bars and compressed biscuits, which are some high-calorie foods. Barbecue in the wild like in the novel is completely impossible for a few people, not to mention whether the smell of blood will attract other monsters. Just peeling, deboning, slicing meat, and setting up a grill are not enough. People can do it, and roasting meat is a technical job. If you are not careful, you will make a mess, so most people don't choose to roast meat in the wild. 21/11, 3:35 p.m. Sundar, Chapter 16, Admission Criteria of Kyoto University at night. The forest is dim and dark, and the noisy cicadas are a little annoying. Xiao Yao and the others took out the night lights in their backpacks, lit them, and gathered together. This kind of night light is specially designed for people who live in the wild. It has various shapes and can freely adjust the brightness of the light. At the same time, the night light has a super battery life, and it can support the maximum brightness for more than 500 hours on a single charge. It is one of the necessary props for every adventurer. Because they were worried that the lights would be too bright and other monsters would be attracted, everyone just turned the brightness of the night lights to the lowest level. In the dim light, the faces of several people showed excitement. At this time, they were spending the night in the wild for the first time. They were both excited and nervous. Fortunately, there were experts like Guo Yufan around, so they were not too worried about their own safety. Problem. Senior, can you tell us how to get admitted to Kyoto University? Su Xingliang asked. Hearing this question, everyone looked at Guo Yufan with anticipation. Kyoto University is the best university in the Dragon Kingdom. Even if ordinary people are admitted to this school, they can far surpass their peers after graduation. For summoners, Kyoto University is undoubtedly the top. Whether it is the faculty or various resources, Kyoto University is undisputedly occupying the top spot all year round. Even Shuima University is slightly inferior. Now that everyone has become a summoner, who wouldn't want to enter this top university in the country? Guo Yufan smiled and said, you are all summoners, but if you want to become a member of Kyoto University, you must first pass a grade in culture class. A scoreline? Xiao Yao and Xing Yi had a relaxed look on their faces. As the top students in the class, a scoreline was a bit too simple for them, but the rest of them were still a little worried. In fact, their grades are not bad, and they can pass a scoreline in the general examination, but when they become summoners, their desire to learn has also dropped rapidly. After all, he has already become a powerful summoner, so who would want to sink down and learn? Hearing Guo Yufan say this, they quickly adjusted their mentality. Since Kyoto University requires cultural courses, other top universities will also have requirements for cultural courses, so even if you can't get into Kyoto University, you can't relax your study of culture courses if you want to go to other good universities. There are a total of 5 cultural courses in the Longguo Science class, which are Chinese, mathematics, physics, chemistry, and biology. Among them, biology is the most difficult. It not only needs to test basic biological knowledge, such as genes, cells, chromosomes, etc., but also test each other, the identification and characteristics of common animals and plants in the wild, so the score of biology is the highest, which is 50 points higher than that of language and mathematics. Of course, even in liberal arts classes, in addition to Chinese and mathematics, politics, history, geography, and biology are also tested. Whether it is science or liberal arts, biology is required, and liberal arts are one more subject than science, so in this world, students who choose liberal arts are even rarer. It looks like I will study hard in the future, Su Xingliang murmured. Guo Yufan patiently said, don't think that you can give up learning after becoming a summoner. If you want to become the top summoner, you will inevitably have contact with your own wild environment in the future. If you don't have enough knowledge, even if it is a treasure of heaven and earth before you, I can't even recognize them. Kyoto University does not only train powerful reckless summoners, but trains talents with all-round development of strength, knowledge, and knowledge. There is still more than half a year before the college entrance examination. If you want to be admitted to a good university, must not relax the requirements for cultural classes. Thank you, senior, we understand, Li Ming said gratefully. If it wasn't for Guo Yufan's reminder, even if they realized the importance of cultural classes later, it might have been too late. Guo Yufan smiled slightly and continued, apart from the culture class, the next step is to test the strength and potential of your beasts. Senior, how did you investigate this? Xiao Yao asked curiously. The strength of war beasts may still be seen, but potential is invisible and intangible. How should you judge it? It's very simple, Guo Yufan said sternly. After the college entrance examination, you will participate in a wild survival test. Of course, it is different from the current one. At that time, it will be entirely up to you. During the trial, your performance will be seen by the examiners. First of all, they will judge the potential of your war beasts. For example, If someone's war beast is a species like the wind devil rabbit, no matter how high the war beast's level is, it will still be worth it. Will not be admitted to Kyoto University. Speaking of this, several people had worried expressions on their faces. After all, they didn't know whether their war beast potential met the admission criteria of Kyoto University. Seeing everyone's expressions, Guo Yufan smiled. Don't worry, your potential for war beasts is no problem. At least in Kyoto University, I have seen the same species, except of course Xiao Yao's. Hearing Guo Yufan's words, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. Of course, Xiao Yao is not worried. After all, Xiao's potential is definitely much stronger than other war beasts. They can all be, and Xiao is absolutely fine. Then it depends on the combat power and level of your war beasts. When you awaken at the same time, the stronger the war beast, the higher the level, the stronger the potential. Even if it is the same species, the individual there are also big differences. Yu reading www.uukanshu.com. According to my experience, your war beasts must at least reach the Black Iron level 4 before they have the chance to be admitted to Kyoto University. Black Iron level 4. Except for Xiao Yao, everyone else looked embarrassed. There is only half a year left before the college entrance examination. Now their war beasts are only Black Iron level 1. No one can guarantee that their war beasts can be upgraded to the level of Black Iron level 4. After all, they are still some distance away from Black Iron level 2. Guo Yufan's face was calm, but he didn't actually say that. Judging from their war beast species, even if the war beasts of these few people reached Black Iron level 4, they would only have a chance to pass the test, but this chance is not very big, unless it is a war beast. The beast's combat power is very outstanding. Only when he reaches the Black Iron level 5 can he be admitted to Kyoto University with more confidence. Of course, if the war beast can reach the bronze level, then he will be admitted to Kyoto University with 90% certainty. Of course, he has not heard of such a for a long time. After all, it is almost impossible for the students at the bottom of the class to be admitted to Kyoto University within half a year. Xiao Yao is full of confidence. After all, Xiao is already at level 2 of Black Iron. It is only a matter of time for him to break through to level 4 of Black Iron. The big deal is to spend more money to go to the training ground to find dozens of sparring partners. He believes that as long as if I can get admitted to Kyoto University, I can still ask my mother for this money. These 2 points are satisfied, plus you have a clean background and have not done anything illegal, then you will have hope of being admitted to Kyoto University. Guo Yufan clapped his hands. Okay, it's getting late, you should go to rest. By the way, remember to keep your war beasts on guard at the door, don't sleep too hard, and always be vigilant. Understood. Several people nodded and walked into their tents with full of worries. Chapter 17, Black-Winged Goshawk. Shadow mantis silent all night. In the early morning, the air in the forest is a little humid. Perhaps it was because of the overnight stay in the wild that a few people couldn't sleep very well, so they got up early. Everyone's breakfast is also very simple, a box of milk and an energy bar. The current energy bar has been made into various flavors by merchants for sales. Xiao Yao eats chocolate in the morning, and the taste is nothing like ordinary chocolate. The difference. Today's itinerary is still up to you. After Guo Yufan finished speaking, he stepped aside. Captain, what do you say? Su Xingliang approached Xiao Yao and asked. Xiao Yao shrugged. We don't have a map, so we can just rely on feeling, but I think we can walk in the direction of the creek, which is more likely to encounter monsters. What if I encounter a powerful monster? Wang Jiakai said worriedly. What are you afraid of when you have a senior? Senior. Su Xingliang raised an eyebrow at Guo Yufan. Guo Yufan smiled lightly and said nothing. After Su Xingliang said this, Wang Jiakai also reacted. Yes. With the senior there, we will naturally deal with the ones that can be beaten, and of course leave the ones that cannot be beaten to the seniors. Thinking of this, she also nodded and said nothing. That's it. Xiao Yao saw that everyone had nothing to say, so he packed his backpacks with everyone and walked towards the direction of yesterday's creek. Brutal roar out of the forest in the morning was very lively, and everyone heard the roar of unknown monsters from time to time, which made several people hurriedly slow down. Suddenly a black shadow flashed across the sky, and everyone raised their heads suddenly, and saw a mighty and domineering goshawk parked on the branch directly above the crowd, glowing the color of steel. Name of the beast: Black-winged goshawk, war beast level dark iron, level 5 war beast skill wings of steel. Xiao Yao's heart twitched instantly. This is a black iron 5th level goshawk. It is much stronger than everyone else, and because it is a flying monster, other than Lu Lei's lightning falcon, other war beasts may not be able to touch each other. For the black-winged goshawk, Lu Lei's lightning falcon is just a food delivery. Everyone slowly formed a circle and looked at the goshawk above their heads with vigilant eyes. Except for Xiao Yao, no one knew the rank of the black-winged goshawk, so they were extremely nervous. The sharp eagle eyes swept across the woods, and suddenly its eagle eyes shrank, as if it saw some powerful enemy, and took a deep look at the bottom. The black-winged goshawk fluttered its wings and quickly left here. After the black-winged goshawk flew away, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. Even if you don't know the black-winged goshawk's level, but just from the oppression that the opponent shows, everyone will understand that apart from Guo Yufan, they are not opponents at all. As soon as I came up, I encountered such a strong monster. This incident instantly extinguished everyone's sense of pride after their victory in the battle yesterday. Everyone understands that a novice summoner like myself would not be able to survive here for a day if it weren't for a silver-level master by his side. Continue. Xiao Yao glanced at the frightened people and said firmly, "He is still too weak now, so weak that any monster can instantly kill him. Fortunately, it is a perfect environment for him to grow up here. He must seize the opportunity and work hard to improve Xiao's level." Others also reacted. The appearance of the black-winged goshawk also aroused everyone's fighting spirit. All the people present were young people, and no one was willing to admit defeat. Even if he is not the opponent of the black-winged goshawk now, but in the future, he will definitely have a war beast that is 100 times stronger than it, and become the top summoner. Seeing everyone's fighting spirit, Guo Yufan nodded secretly. Not admit defeat and never give up are the qualities that a good summoner must have. Which top summoner grows up step by step, not in a blow, but in blood and fire, life and death. The spirit of never giving up and never admitting defeat is the best quality that drives their growth. It looks like the juniors I brought this time are all good. Guo Yufan had a faint smile on his face. He was looking forward to the performance of these people in the college entrance examination soon. You must know that even in Kyoto University, various small groups were born because of competition for resources, and the groups formed for geographical reasons are the most common and the strongest. The strength of their Yanryu club can only be considered to be above average in Kyoto University. If they can add some fresh blood in the future, perhaps the Yanryu club can go further and win more resources. In the next journey, Xiao Yao led everyone to walk more cautiously, because he was worried about encountering powerful flying monsters. Lu Lei did not dare to let the lightning falcon continue to fly and explore, but just let him hover at a low altitude, closely following the large troops' pace. Roar! Suddenly, a loud roar sounded in his ear. Xiao Yao's heart was alarmed. He rolled over and rolled to the side. Less than a second after he left, a black arm blade swept across, and when the hit missed, the arm blade directly cut into the tree beside him, cutting the thick tree with a gap of nearly half a meter. Xiao Yao raised his head and looked at the tree that was almost broken. He was so scared that he was sweating coldly. If this is 1 second later, his life will be gone. Fuck. Even Guo Yufan, who has always been gentle and elegant, couldn't help but swear. Fortunately, this kid, Xiao Yao, is alert. If a member of his team had an accident here, he would be doomed. At that time, not only the parents of the students would not be able to spare him, but even the school would give him a severe punishment. Damn, what idiot actually put this thing in? Looking at the pitch-black monster in front of him, Guo Yufan cursed in his heart. Originally, he thought that there were no powerful monsters in the #1 trial ground, so he only let out the powerful ape. Who would have thought that he would encounter such a thing? Putting this thing on proving ground #1, do you want to kill all the other adventurers? Name of the beast: Shadow Mantis, war beast level bronze level 3 war beast skill Shadow Sneak. Xiao Yao looked at the information about the monster in front of him www.readwn.com and felt scared for a while. Nima turned out to be a bronze level monster. If it wasn't for the roar just now, I'm afraid I would really have been planted here. Roar! A tall figure suddenly appeared in front of everyone. Its hair was messy, its muscles were knotted, and its body was half-bowed in an offensive posture. It is Guoyufan's great ape. Everyone step back. Guoyufan shouted loudly. The shadow mantis is a killer among killers. With a pair of sharp arm blades and the stealth of shadow stealth, it can be said that even a bronze 5th level beast will catch his way accidentally. This kind of monster is not something that these high school students can face. Even from a distance, it may kill you. Hearing Guoyufan's words, everyone quickly stepped back several dozen meters, and Guoyufan also followed everyone to the side. With a flash of white light, he summoned his second beast. Name of War Beast: Wind Spirit Bird. War Beast level Silver level 1. War Beast skills: Wind Blade, Wind Speed, Ruthless. As soon as the Wind Spirit Bird appeared, it raised its head and let out a long cry. His body was bigger than the black-winged goshawk just now. His body was green, and his 4-meter-long wings spread out, causing a gust of wind, causing the people on the side to take a few steps back. Ruthless Feng Lingniao turned his head and looked at Guoyufan with a few whispers, with dissatisfaction in his eyes, and seemed to say more. Why did you only let me out now? Guoyufan smiled bitterly and said, as soon as you appeared, the other monsters would have been hiding far away. I'll let you play when you get back. Now you'll be by my side and watch a UN. Feng Lingniao looked at the high school students beside him, and then turned his attention to the battle ahead. Chapter 18, Shadow Mantis Dead. Surprise roar. Vigorous ape stood up straight and let out a roar from his mouth. He was more than 2 meters tall, his exploding muscles bulged like hills, and a pair of fists collided with a muffled sound. On the opposite side of him, the shadow mantis, which is nearly 2 meters high, is staring ahead with compound eyes without the slightest emotion. His shell was as black as ink, without any variegation. The sharp arm blade exuded a chill, and the covered wings as thin as cicada wings kept vibrating, making a buzzing sound. Guoyufan's face was calm, and he could feel that the fluctuations emitted by the shadow mantis were at the bronze level, just right for a UN's opponent. As for the safety of the group and the great ape, he is not worried. After all, his wind spirit bird is at the silver level, which has an overwhelming advantage over the shadow mantis. Even if a UN is not an opponent, the wind spirit bird can save a UN's life in time. Of course, he is still full of confidence in the war beast he has carefully cultivated. Boom! Vigorous ape took a step and smashed the shadow mantis with a hammer-like fist. The shadow mantis covered its wings and jumped up. Not only did it escape the attack of the powerful ape, but it also flew to the side of the powerful ape at a very fast speed, and the arm blade drew an icy arc towards its neck. Dolly ape roared angrily, but he didn't dodge or evade. One arm raised, blocking it towards the arm blade, and the other hand clenched a fist and hit the shadow mantis directly in the face. Boom! The shadow mantis flew 2 meters upside down, and several of its compound eyes were abruptly exploded. Vigorous ape glanced at the wound on his arm. The wound was not deep, only about 2 centimeters. For him, it was only a broken skin. Guoyufan looked at the battle situation and nodded with satisfaction. It seems that a UN's Golden Congo is not in vain, and his defense has indeed risen to a higher level. If a UN can evolve into a powerful ape, he will be able to break through the limit of the gold level race. However, the Golden Congo is still too expensive, and there is still a long way to go to make a UN evolve. Roar! Take advantage of your illness to kill you. After years of training and fighting, the great ape has long understood this truth. He stomped hard and charged towards the shadow mantis like a cannonball. The mouthparts of the shadow mantis opened and closed, and the originally cold eyes became more and more cold. The 2 arm blades drew across, and he couldn't believe that his sharpest weapon could not hurt the big man on the opposite side. Dolly Yuan's eyes were full of fighting intent. This time, he still didn't dodge or evade, and his right fist charged and slammed out, which seemed to have the shadow of a heavy punch. The blade of the arm slashed on the fist of the powerful monkey, and several blood flowers were splashed instantly, but this injury could not stop the fierce blow of the powerful monkey at all. Boom! The hammer-like punch slammed into the pitch-black shell, as if a steel plate had been hit by a hammer and dented inwardly. The pale green juice splashed, and the shadow mantis body slammed heavily on the tree behind him. The tree swayed suddenly, and the leaves fell. In Xiao Yao's eyes, the shadow mantis's HP dropped to 47% in an instant, which was close to the level of serious injury. The shadow mantis opened its mouthparts, and the originally cold eyes revealed a touch of panic. He stood up quickly, and his figure moved, like a black smoke, blending into the shade of the surrounding trees. Shadow Sneak? This is the skill of the shadow mantis. It can be integrated with the surrounding shadows, but it has a certain timeliness, but even so, it is a very powerful skill. Whether it is assassination or escape, it can play a decisive role. The shadow mantis was running so fast that neither Dolly Yuan nor Guo Yufan had time to react. Okay, let him run away. Guo Yufan shook his head helplessly. He originally wanted to kill this mantis to give Xiao Yao an explanation, but he didn't expect this thing to run so fast. But in the dim forest, there are shadows everywhere, and the sneak of the shadow mantis is really difficult to find. Even he can't track each other. Senior, I have a way to track down that guy. Xiao Yao had a ruthless look on his face. Damn, this thing almost killed him. It would be hard to let go of the hatred in his heart if he didn't kill him. Do you have a solution? Guo Yufan looked at Xiao Yao in surprise. If he could track down the shadow mantis, then this matter would be easy. Shadow stealth doesn't last long as he can be found. Killing him is easy. Xiao Yao nodded. Because he signed a soul contract with Xiao Ke, he could clearly know Xiao Ke's state. In Xiaoke's eyes, a bright red phantom in midair stretched out into the distance, which was the direction the shadow mantis fled. After being promoted to Black Iron Level 2, blood tracking quickly came into play. You lead the team, I'll follow you. Guo Yufan made the decision on the spot. In the past 2 days, he could see Xiao Yao's character, a calm and cautious person. He believed that Xiao Yao would never say something big at this time. Xiao Yao glanced at Xiao Ke and nodded. Xiao Ke immediately understood what Xiao Yao meant. He snorted, his eyes full of anger. He saw Xiao Yao's near-death experience just now. He hated the shadow mantis, and he hated himself who was weak now. Fortunately, the other party was already injured, so he must find him. Along the illusory blood path in midair, Xiao Ke led the crowd to run all the way. For about 7 or 8 minutes, Xiao Ke suddenly slowed down and approached the front little by little. Xiao Yao knew that this was his group who had already approached this shadow mantis very close. Sure enough, the crowd cautiously advanced for less than a minute when they saw a wounded shadow mantis leaning on the tree, silently recovering the wounds on his body. Seeing this, Guo Yufan waved his hand directly, implying that the great ape could move. Looking at the shadow mantis in front of him, the corner of Dolly Ape's mouth evoked a humane contemptuous smile. He flexed and stretched his body, rushing forward at a speed that was indistinguishable to the naked eye. Maybe it was because he didn't expect someone to come after him, or maybe because of his own injury. The shadow mantis didn't find the other party's trace until the great ape came within 10 meters around. But this distance is only a blink of an eye for the great ape. Thump! The iron fist hit the shadow mantis head, and it exploded directly. Light green, jet black juice splashed, and a broken headless corpse fell to the ground. Xiao Yao looked at the front with some envy. If this shadow mantis was killed by Xiaoke, I am afraid that it would be directly born to 2 or 3 levels. Of course, he knew that this was impossible. Even the severely injured shadow mantis was not something Xiaoke could deal with. If the other party wanted to kill Xiaoke, it would be a matter of one hand. After the shadow mantis died, Dolly Ape returned to Guo Yufan's side and roared a few times, seeming to be a little proud. I know, you are amazing. Looking at the stinky war beast, Guo Yufan smiled helplessly. Every war beast has its own character. Yuyukanshu www.yuyukanshu.com. The character of the powerful ape is undoubtedly the most detached, with the lively and uninhibited nature of the ape family, which often gives him a headache. Xiaoling, then you should go back first, Guo Yufan said to the wind spirit bird. Beside him, my mission this time is to take this group of juniors for a field survival trial, but in the #1 trial site, Xiaoling's deterrent is still too strong. No monster dares to approach me, which is very important for this group. It's not a good thing for schoolmates and schoolmates. If they don't encounter monsters, they can't increase their knowledge and accumulate combat experience, which goes against their meaning as a team leader. Feng Ling Miao pouted and nodded reluctantly. With a flash of white light, Feng Ling Bird returned to Guo Yufan's beast fighting space. At this time, Xiao Yao frowned. He found that after the death of the shadow mantis, a clear red phantom could still be seen in Xiao Ke's eyes, which meant that there was still a wounded monster around. and the phantom did not extend too far. Obviously the wounded monster is nearby. Thinking of this, Xiao Yao said, "Senior, is there a wounded monster nearby?" "Oh." Guo Yufan glanced at Xiao Yao somewhat unexpectedly, and then said, "Then take me to see it." Xiao Yao nodded. He didn't know what level the injured monster was. In case it was like the shadow mantis, he would die if he rushed there. But it is much safer to have a master like Guo Yufan around. Following Xiao Ke, Xiao Yao, and Guo Yufan gradually approached the end of the phantom, while Dolly stayed behind to protect the others. Walking around the sturdy tree, Xiao Yao and Guo Yufan saw the monster on the ground that had fallen into a coma, with strong surprises in their eyes. I'll go and make a fortune. Chapter 19, Red-Eyed Fox, EDG. Come on. Name of the beast: Red-Eyed Fox. War Beast level: Dark Iron level 5. War Beast skill: Red Fox Demon Flame HP 20%. A red-eyed fox was lying on the ground in a coma. Its fur was crimson red, and it looked like a flame, but there were bone-deep wounds on its body and legs. Dark red blood had been stained on the fur, and it seemed very embarrassed. Of course, seeing the red-eyed fox was a great surprise for the two of them. The red-eyed fox is not very strong, but it has a pair of amazing eyes. After the red-eyed fox dies, a pair of eyes will be transformed into 2 fiery red gems in a very short time. At room temperature it is just like a normal gem, but at low temperatures, the gem will automatically emit warm heat. Because of this whole characteristic, many people like to hunt red-eyed foxes and polish their eyes into precious stones to sell to rich people in the north. In winter, wear a necklace or ring made of this gemstone, and you will never feel cold again throughout the winter. However, because the number of red-eyed foxes is rare and they are extremely vigilant, the price of this gemstone has always been high. Xiao Yao and Guo Yufan did not expect that they would encounter a red-eyed fox, and they were still in a coma. Isn't this a windfall? Xiao Yao, although I'm embarrassed, I want to ask if the 2 eyes of the red-eyed fox can be sold to me, and I will pay 800,000. Guo Yufan said a little embarrassedly. The price of 800,000 is a bit low for the eyes of 2 red-eyed foxes, but it is indeed the only money he has now. Xiao Yao shook his head. Senior, we discovered the red-eyed fox together. We each have one. If you want it, I'll sell it to you for 400,000 yuan. If it weren't for Guo Yufan's protection, he would have died in the hands of the black-winged goshawk or the shadow mantis, so naturally he wouldn't monopolize the eyes of the red-eyed fox. Guo Yufan said firmly, "You found this red-eyed fox, I can't take your things in vain. And if you sell it to me at the price of 800,000, you have already suffered a loss, and I can no longer take advantage of you." Looking at Guo Yufan's incomparably determined eyes, Xiao Yao said helplessly, "All right then. By the way, Senior, can I let my war beast kill it?" Xiao Yao asked with some anticipation. In normal times, Xiao Ke is naturally not the opponent of the Black Iron level 5 red-eyed fox, but it is in a coma now, and the two of them are so close that they can't find it. In this case, Xiao Ke thinks killing it is not a sure thing. "I don't know how much experience I can gain by killing a monster of Black Iron level 5. Okay, I'll leave it to you," Guo Yufan said cheerfully. He could see that the red-eyed fox was on the verge of death, and it was only the last breath left. Even an ordinary person could kill it. Xiao Yao waved at Xiao Ke excitedly. Xiao Ke immediately understood what Xiao Yao meant. He flew forward, bit the red-eyed fox's throat, and then ripped it abruptly. A large piece of flesh and blood was bitten off by Xiaoke, and the blood burst out like a fountain. At this time, the red-eyed fox suddenly opened his eyes wide, his body trembled violently, and panic and despair appeared in his eyes. But it was too weak after all, and Xiaoke pressed firmly on it, making it unable to move. Just like that, after a few seconds, the red-eyed fox's eyes completely lost their luster. Xiao Yao stared at Xiaoke's experience points, and at the moment when the red-eyed fox died, the experience points jumped and turned into Dark Iron level 2. 70/100. It went up by 60 points? Xiao Yao was a little surprised. He thought that a monster of Black Iron level 5 could at least raise Xiaoke by 1 level. It is estimated that because the red-eyed fox was seriously injured, the experience value did not increase too much. But it's not a big problem. Now it's only 30 points away from leveling up, which is about 5 or 6 wind demon rabbits. And this is also good. After all, Xiaoke has just been promoted to the 2nd level of Black Iron. If he is promoted to another level within a day, it will definitely arouse suspicion from others. Xiao Yao decided that he had to act cautiously next, and it was best not to let Xiao Ke continue to level up in these 2 days. After the red-eyed fox died, the two carefully observed the changes on its body. Sure enough, the original pair of clear eyes gradually became cloudy, and finally turned into a stone. Guo Yufan squatted down and used a dagger to pick out 2 stones with ease. Then he carefully cleaned the bloodstains on the stones with the water bottle he brought. Give me these 2 stones, and I'll transfer 800,000 to you after you go out. Guo Yufan had a smile on his face. He didn't expect such a reward after a mission. It was a total surprise. He had already thought about the purpose of the 2 gems, and one of them was given to the mentor who took great care of him. It was said that the mentor's mother had rheumatism all year round, and the cold climate of Kyoto in winter caused rheumatism to occur frequently. Even if the instructor invited many doctors, experts, and even summoners with healing abilities, they still couldn't cure this problem. And this gem can relieve rheumatism very well. This has been verified by someone. If he gave this gem to his mentor, he must be very happy. Give the other one to your girlfriend. It's the 4-year anniversary of the 2 of them soon. This gift is definitely a big surprise. Xiao Yao nodded cheerfully. Senior, take it first. After contacting him in the past few days, he also has a certain understanding of Guo Yufan. He is a gentle and very principled senior. He believes that the other party will not hack his money. Guo Yufan smiled gently, and he was very relieved to see Xiao Yao feel so assured of him. In the past 2 days, he also evaluated his team members. Among them, Xiao Yao's performance made him the most satisfied. Whether it was team leadership, knowledge reserve, or the strength of the beasts, he was firmly ranked first among the others. Such a talent is very likely to become him as apprentice. Guo Yufan swiped his left hand. Reading www.uukanshu. The 2 gems of calm disappeared in Xiao Yao's eyes. Damn it, what is this? Space equipment? Xiao Yao asked in surprise. Guo Yufan pointed to the ring on his left hand. This is a ring made of crushed stone. Mine is only the lowest level of crushed stone. The area inside is only 1/3 cubic meter, and usually only some valuables are placed. Broken stone, so miraculous. Xiao Yao stared at Guo Yufan's ring and scrutinized it carefully. His eyes were full of curiosity and longing. This is a space ring that is necessary for people who go out and kill people. Guo Yufan smiled. Don't look at it. When you get admitted to Kyoto University and accumulate enough credits, you can also exchange for a space ring. Xiao Yao nodded heavily. Originally, it was his goal to be admitted to Kyoto University and become an alumnus with his father, but now he has another reason to be admitted to Kyoto University. But senior, where did you get this broken stone from? Why has he never heard of such a miraculous thing? Even his father never mentioned it. Guo Yufan shrugged. I don't know too well. It seems that I found it from somewhere in the past few years. Okay. Seeing that Guo Yufan didn't know about it, Xiao Yao didn't ask any further questions. Let's go back. Although there was Dolly Yuan guarding over there, Guo Yufan was still a little uneasy in his heart. After all, a Yuan's character was really naughty and a little out of tune. He now regrets it a little, and should let Feng Ling Miao guard those junior brothers and sisters. Fuck, Brother Hui, the red-eyed fox was killed. Suddenly, a furious voice came from the side. Xiao Yao and Guo Yufan turned their heads to look, their brows furrowed at the same time. Chapter 20, Scare Away, Dry. DK, not far away, 3 burly men came over angrily, and beside them were 3 war beasts. Name of War Beast Rock Lizard, War Beast Level Bronze, Level 3 War Beast Skill Rock Thorn. Name of the Beast Flamingo, War Beast Level Dark Iron, Level 5 War Beast Skill Flame Ball. Name of War Beast Poison King Peak, War Beast Level Dark Iron, Level 5 War Beast Skill Poison Tail Needle. 3 big men came aggressively, and one of the big men saw the empty eyes of the red-eyed fox, and even more directly cursed. Fuck, you 2 bastards, hurry up and return Lao Tzu's things. Xiao Yao frowned, but because of his lack of strength, he didn't say anything, but Guo Yufan's face became extremely ugly. As the proud son of Kyoto University, when has he been scolded like this? Guo Yufan said lightly, whatever yours, I killed it. Those 2 eyes are naturally mine. A bald man on the left said viciously, the 3 of us chased for a whole day. We caused the injury on its body. You kid is just a bargain. If you don't want to die, hand it over quickly. Cut. The corner of Guo Yufan's mouth evoked a contemptuous arc. The lack of strength made the red-eyed fox run away, and you still have the courage to bring it up. In the wild, in order to compete for treasures, he has experienced such scenes a lot. He could see that the strongest among these war beasts was at the bronze rank, and he didn't even know what to say about his strengths. CNMD, you are courting death. Li Hui, who was headed by him, had a ruthless expression on his face. With a big wave of his hand, the rock lizard behind him stood in front of him. His legs were slightly bent, and a yellow light appeared on his body. You must know that they spent a lot of money to enter the number 1 trial field. The trial field is different from the wild. Anyone can enter and leave the field at will, but the trial field is a state-controlled territory. If you want to enter, you must pay a certain amount of money. In the past 2 days, they have put all their energy into chasing this red-eyed fox. If they can't get the red-eyed fox's eyes, everything they do will be useless, and they will lose a lot of entry fee in vain. If it wasn't for the slow speed of the rock lizard and the cunning of the red-eyed fox, how could they have let the 2 boys in front of them take advantage of it? Fortunately, these 2 are very young at first glance, and one of them is still like a high school student. Naturally, such a person will not be very strong. Boy, hand over the gem, and I'll spare you. Li Hui gave a final warning. The proving ground is not like the wild. The military has deployed a large number of cameras here to monitor the situation of the entire proving ground. Although it is impossible for these cameras to cover the entire proving ground, no one can guarantee that there is such a thing around. Unless he had to, he still didn't want to hurt people. Guo Yufan smiled contemptuously, and with a big wave of his hand, a burst of white light emanated from his body. Ruthless, the wind spirit bird with its wings spread out a gust of wind, and it looked at Guo Yufan with puzzled eyes, as if to say, "Just put me in, and now let me out again. What are you doing?" The strong wind blew through, and the powerful momentum shook several people back a few steps, while Flamingo and Poison King Peak were also frightened to the ground, shivering. This is a silver-level wind spirit bird. Li Hui's heart trembled. He didn't expect the young man in front of him to be a silver summoner. He became a silver summoner in his 20s, shouldn't he be a student from a top university? Compared with him, he has lived on a dog for more than 30 years. But what is a silver-level summoner doing at the training ground number 1? There is no challenge for them here. At this time, Li Hui focused his attention on another younger boy, and then glanced at Xiao Ke beside him. He couldn't help thinking, shouldn't it be? Guo Yufan touched Fengling Bird's wings, looked at the front with a calm expression, and said, "I took the things, do you have any opinions?" If these people had a better attitude, he would still be able to compensate the other party for the cheapness he picked up, but as soon as these people came up, they scolded and made unkind words, so he gave up the idea. Brother Hui, the big man on the left had a bitter face, not knowing what to do. Li Hui clenched his fists and said unwillingly, "I'm sorry, we admit it and leave immediately." He couldn't guarantee whether the young man opposite was a ruthless summoner. As an old man, even if he was unwilling, he would not say cruel words at this time like some idiots. That's not having guts, it's forcing people to kill people. He wouldn't make such a stupid mistake. Guo Yufan quietly watched the other side retreat without any obstruction. Even if the other party is rude, he is not guilty of death. Since he has taken advantage of it, he will naturally not be too unreasonable. When these 3 people completely disappeared in front of him, Guo Yufan said a little embarrassedly, "Little Ling, go back first." Wind Spirit Bird. "I only came out for 2 minutes and you let me go back?" She angrily looked at Guo Yufan. www.readwn.com. A copy of the baby's unhappy appearance. Guo Yufan patted her head helplessly, and said softly, Okay, I'll buy you your favorite safflower when we go back." When she heard that there were red flower bugs eating, Feng Ling Miao's expression softened slightly. She raised her head arrogantly, and disappeared in place in a flash of white light. The corner of Xiao Yao's mouth twitched. The senior's war beast really has a personality. Guo Yufan saw Xiao Yao's expression and said helplessly, "Every war beast has its own character and emotions, and getting along with them is like taking your own children. You will know when you have more war beasts in the future. The harder it is to bring the team." Xiao Yao nodded in agreement. Although he had only one beast, Xiaoke, Dad had 4 beasts, each with its own character. The domineering arrogance of Lei Yi, the blue-eyed tiger, the arrogance of the black demon ape, the loyalty of the red flame dog, and the laziness of the iron-backed bear. He is very familiar with Xiao Li's several war beasts, and has often fed them since childhood. Sometimes, the characters of different war beasts really make Dad very embarrassed. They are not like characters in the game, they are completely controlled by the player. On the contrary, they are living creatures with their own emotions, and they will make noise and scream when they are unhappy. Sometimes it is harder to coax them than to coax women. I don't know if my future war beasts will be as good as Xiaoke. Xiao Yao is very satisfied with Xiaoke's character. He is obedient, quiet, and strong in execution. He has the arrogance of a wolf and the clingy personality of a puppy. I hope that the next war beasts can be just like Xiaoke. However, there are quite a few non-humanoid heroes in League of Legends. Praying Mantis, Poodle, Big Bug, Big Tree, Little Fishman, Bear, Monkey, Cat. Which hero will your next beast be?